YouTube, what's up? This is 24 hours of Chaos Sanctuary with my 0% magic find, Mang Song Nova Sorc. No, this was not 24 hours straight. It took me about 2 weeks of playing, about 2 hours per day. Going for max clear speed, we are doing solo online. It takes about 2 minutes to do a full clear, so it's roughly 720 runs. Focusing on bases, charms, and runes, but I'm sure we'll still have some good unique items. The build link will be in the description below or in the linked video. We start off strong with our first high rune drop of an Ohm rune. And we also get a Colossus Sword drop, which is a base I've been looking for. We want 5 OS and Eth. Nope, but the Ohm rune was a great start. Then we picked up this rare ring. Good enough to keep. Max damage, attack rating, 8 life leech, and some fire res. Might be good for a Fury Druid. Next we get a Bone Visage, which might be good for a Cure or a Flickering Flame for the Merc. Eth, 0 open socket. We can Lars that to 3 OS. Perfect for the Merc. We get another Colossus Sword drop. Remember, we want Eth and 5 open socket. It's Eth, 0 open socket, so that we can Lars it to 5 OS, so this might be a good base for an E-Death for a Barb. First notable drop from Diablo is a Grand Charm, also known as a Bale Charm, and a pair of rare gloves. The Grand Charm is not good, but worth keeping if you wanted to re-roll for a 45 life skiller. The gloves, rolled 210 boa gloves, not bad. The next good drop from Diablo was a pair of set battle boots. These are Alder's boots, which can roll up to 50% fire res. And these are a perfect pair. Will go well on a Javazon build. The faster run walk along with 50 to life, which is boostable by battle orders, will be very nice. Don't worry, I picked up that small charm later and checked at the end of the run, but not before checking out this superior Dust Shroud first. Decent ED, may be usable for a Chains of Honor or a Fortitude. The small charm was a nice little 7 MF charm. I feel like the game is trying to tell me something. The next high rune we get is almost in the exact same location as the Ohm rune we found. Nice little Vex, more like a mid high rune. The max drops Diablo can have is 6, so even on P1 we are hitting 6 drops pretty often. We get Akira's to drop. It's pretty much 70 all res or bust at this point. Low roll, so we just leave it behind. I don't always clear the River of Flame, but when I see some champions or a big pack, I stop to clear them. This time it paid off with another high rune. Very useful low rune. Next we find a pair of Drax gloves at the first seal boss. These can roll up to 10 life leech, but the main use for these is the life tap proc for Ubers. Useful for a smiter or other Uber specific builds. This next hour was insane with several unique drops. The first one is a Shaco from Diablo. The game is trying to give us MF. I don't want it. Low defense roll, so we don't even keep these anymore. Next, we get Verdungos to drop. These can roll 10 to 15% on the DR. Would be pretty useless without that. These roll 15, worth keeping for a Fury Druid. The next run, we get a rare ring at the first seal boss. Nice little FCR baby tri-res ring. Might be cool for an Amazon or a Sorc. Also pretty low level requirement. This next one, I actually found several of these in this project. The Gladiator's Bane can roll up to 20 on both the DR and MDR. This one was one off with a 19-20 roll. Might be useful for a Merc. Maybe. Almost missed this Colossus Blade drop. We were looking for Eth and 5 OS. The Colossus Blade has slightly faster attack speed than the Colossus Sword, but can only be Larsed to 6 OS. This one is Eth and 0 open socket, so we can take our chances to roll 5 OS on it. We'll do that after the run. In the same run, we find another decent base. I had to look up how to pronounce this so that I didn't say it wrong. Zweihände. This base has a speed of -10, so it is faster than both the Colossus Blade and the Colossus Sword. It will also Lars to 5 OS, so we'll keep it as a good option for death. Here we go, 5 OS or bust. Oof, we'll keep looking. Another okay drop from Diablo, a Rib Cracker. This would be better as an Eth, but still not a bad option for a budget Fury Druid. From the Desace pack, we get another rare ring. Another max damage, attack rating, life leech, and res ring. The life leech is low, but okay for a starter ring on a Fury Druid. We get our first unique ring in the project off of Diablo. Obviously this won't be an SOJ because we have 0% match find, right? It's a 20 dex Ravenfrost. This ring is best in slot in so many builds. For the Javazon example, the 20 dex would be perfect, as the attack rating doesn't matter. I usually keep a bunch of these so that the ring skin matches in the build. We find another Colossus Sword base, looking for 5 OS and Eth. Eth again, but 0 OS, so I can take it to Lars, but we already have one saved. Off Diablo, we get a pair of unique battle boots, War Travelers. The game is trying to force Magic Find on us again. If these are not 50% Magic Find, we will just leave them. Trash. Off the first pack here in CS, we get an Oculus drop. I like this item for a Sorc. A lot of people don't because of the random teleport, but I think it saves you more than it hurts you. But that 50% Magic Find, we don't want it. In the same run, we get a Shaco drop off of the Desace group. If this doesn't have 130 or higher defense, we won't keep it. Nope. Little small charm drop. 20 lifer, maybe worth a lem. Good enough for a starting build. Next off Diablo, we get another Aki drop. I'm not even going to ID this. It all rolls the same. Stop trying to give me this. Unique war boots off of Diablo, Go Riders, which are very nice for any melee build for the Crushing Blow and the Deadly Strike. Ooh, these are Eth though, so completely useless, but cool for an Eth Grail. We stop by on our way to CS again and drop this unique Montel Defer. Might be known as the useless hammer, but this obviously has a specific use case as it's the only weapon in the game that has amp damage charges on it. The Gavel of Pain, used on a Whirlwind Barb or a Mosaic Assassin for uber speed running. In the same run, we get a unique Grim Helm, which is the Vamp Gaze. This is one of the go-to helms for the Merc as it has Life Leech, damage reduction, and magic damage reduction. This can roll up to 8 Life Leech, 20% DR, and 15 magic damage reduction. This is almost an anti-perfect roll, so we'll toss it. Off Diablo, we get a Viper Magi. This is the best in slot for a Nova build and many Sorc builds. +1 all skills, all res, magic damage reduction make this a go-to. Well, not if it's Eth. Gross. Ew, we can't even Zod it. This is probably one of the best drops we've had. Not super useful, but a Grail item for a lot of folks. Unique Hydra Bro, which is the Wind Force. This was a much better item back in the day. The Mana Leech roll might be the highest of value. Ranging from 6 to 8, we want a high roll. We get 7 mid-roll, maybe worth of X. Another Gladbane off of Diablo. Let's see if we can get a better roll. Nope. Okay, off Diablo, we get a different Swirling Crystal this time. The Talzor. Only worth keeping if it's 2/2/2. Wow. 1/1/1. Terrible. Next off Diablo, we get some unique mesh boots. Well, look at that. Silk Weaves. These are the best in slot on this build, and super useful for its added mana, defense versus missiles, and mana afterkill. We get a decent base to drop here. I believe this is a one-off perfect Eth Wire Fleece. Might be cool to Lars for maybe a Fort or a Chains of Honor. Only time for a few more Diablos. Let's see what we can get. Seriously? Stop. Haven't had a rune drop in a while. Nice little Malrune. We get some Frosties off of Diablo. 20% ED is perfect for these. 19, that's basically perfect. And best in slot for this build. Off the Infector pack, we get a Mage Plate base to drop. My personal favorite base for Enigma, if it's 3 OS and has over 255 defense. There we go. Good Enigma base. Terrorize Diablo, we get an Ormus Robes. There are a lot of skills that this can roll on. Some are good, but most are pretty useless. This one is Enchant. I wouldn't use it, but maybe an Enchant Sorceress would. Next, we get an interesting one. Arcane's Valor. This was best before Rune Words. It can roll up to +2 skills and has some nice damage reduction. +1, so we toss it. Finally, a decent Grand Charm worth noting. The first skiller in the project, a martial arts skiller with some gold bind. Another interesting base drop, we get an Eth Decapitator. Since this is 0 open socket, we can Lars this to 5 OS and make an E-Death. This would be the best in slot for a Fury Druid. This is the last drop in our project. Off Diablo, we get a Spired Helm. This can either be the Nightwings or a Veil of Steel. Nightwings would be much better. We get a Nightwings. It's a low roll on the cold damage. Still a great find and best in slot for a Cold Sorc or a Hurricane Druid. So yeah, that's it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to do so below. Thanks for watching. Up next will be the Fury Druid. I'll see you in the next one.